because the market now is
Okay.
a little bit complex, but trying to
Yes.
see option.
Let's see.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you. So Victor. So if you are okay, we can enable video here. So that is the more interaction, right? So very good, Karina. I appreciate you. Victor. Pa or Soumya. eBay. Alpesh.
Hello everyone. I'm Soumya.
Hey
For the
Soumya.
past 7 years, I've been working with the middleware engineering on Solace and IBM MQ. So in my recent project, I was closely working with the DevOps team. So just got interested on this
And
platform,
DevOps.
and I just looking forward if I can work on this. I just wanted to expand my knowledge on this DevOps.
Very good. Very good. Very good. Next.
Thank you.
Apeksha. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much, Soumya.
Hey, I am right now working as a cloud DevOps engineer, but I would like to explore more in this field. So that's why.
Okay.
Yep.
So you already working as a DevOps engineer, right?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. So which tools are you using?
So right now at my current place, we are using mostly it's an AWS platforms, and we have migrated all our on-premises applications on AWS recently last year, and we are using EKS, ECS, Fargate, and apart from the CI/CD tool, I would say Jenkins. Then for the monitoring, Dynatrace. Also, we are using some of the MSK, AWS MSK for Kafka services. Yep, Terraform is one of the main tools for provisioning.
Yes. Yep. Yep. So are you using Terraform, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Very good. Very good. Yep. Next.
Hi.
Hi.
My name is Alpesh Patel.
Okay.
Actually, I'm a non-IT guy and would like to see that if I can come into IT industry. And my friends and the close ones suggested about the AWS. I mean the cloud for DevOps, and I'm here for that.
Yeah. So
Let's
all
see
the
if I
best.
can.
All the best.
Yeah.
All the best, Alpesh. So definitely you will get there. So you will migrate from current to definitely IT industry.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope so.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yep. Next, guys. Soumya, Pa done, right? Pa from? Pa, you are from?
Yeah, this is Praveen. I'm from Hyderabad. Currently, I'm working as assistant professor and private engineer.
Yeah. Hey, Praveen. So Praveen, you are from Sivareddy?
So I would like to work in AWS DevOps.
Okay. So you already work. You already working, huh?
No, I'm working as a.
So you
I'm
are
working
working
as
as
assistant professor.
Assistant professor. Okay.
Assistant professor.
Yeah, I understood. Something like so the other guy also joined, huh?
Yeah, might be. I need to call him, but I need to check. I just sent him a link. Huh? I don't know whether he joined. I'd like to message him.
Yep. Can you please check?
Hello?
Yeah. Hello?
You hear me, Hari?
Yes, I'm able to hear Praveen. But I am getting so much echo from background noise.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Mute
Okay,
yourself.
that is my introduction.
Yeah. Thank you so much. All the best for your bright future on IT. Yeah, next eBay is there, right? Who is eBay? Is it correct pronunciation? eBay?
Yeah, Ebenezer. Yeah, he's my friend. Ebenezer. Maybe.
Ebi?
Yeah. If you don't respond, you please continue, Hari.
Okay. What about that Abdullah or something like I see? Soumya, Karina, Apeksha. Who is left? Soumya, Tony, Victor, eBay. Guys, DevOps. You guys are heard about the DevOps, right? So you know, right? The DevOps definition. Is anyone knows what is the DevOps, guys? I think Apeksha, right? Apeksha, you working on the DevOps, right? Apeksha or something like I forgot her name. Apeksha. Guys, what is DevOps? So does anyone knows, guys, what is DevOps?
Hey, sorry.
DevOps. Okay, Apeksha. What is
Hey,
DevOps?
it's just in a very layman words, I would say development
No
operations.
worries, no worries. You are so if it is a layman or something like what are something like you guys can tell me. So what about what is the meaning of a DevOps? Okay.
So it's actually combination of development and operations, and you combine practices and all the tools across the organizations have been using, so we can increase the ability to deliver the applications, the services much faster than
Then
the traditional process. Yeah.
yes. Very good, very good, very good. Next, guys, Soumya, guys, Karina, Alpesh from non-IT, right? Soumya, you are working as a Scrum Master, right? I think Karina is Scrum Master. Soumya?
No, I was working as a middleware engineer.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what is DevOps? Guys, what
Uh,
is DevOps? So it's a viral word. So what DevOps.
uh, Something where we can usually easily use the application or maintain it or combine uh,
Mhm,
combining all the processes
mhm.
uh,
Very good. Very
where
good.
we
Yep. So guys, I will tell you a layman language. It's not a something like a meaningful language. I will tell you what is DevOps. So DevOps, Dev means a development, Ops means operations team. So end of this video, you guys will get it. What is Dev and what is operations. So I would say something like it's a layman language. So DevOps is nothing but uh, it's a culture or a methodology. It's a culture or a methodology. A development team and operation team work together and automate their process. So before it is something like everything will be manually we are doing. So if you use that DevOps is a methodology or a culture. It's not a tool. So we can use the tools and to we can use we can use the tools and we can automate the process. So what are the tools we are using in this DevOps? We are using a eBay, are you asking something? If you are not asking, yeah, you guys can mute yourself. So, yeah. So something like, yeah, it's a DevOps is a methodology or a culture. So DevOps is not a tool. So if you use the tools, so something like we can use the tools and we can automate the process. So what Apeksha saying something like, so that they deliver the applications a speeder or a faster. so we can deliver the application. So in this process, we are using the some of the tools and we can automate the process. So something like before that, before a DevOps, so there is a two methodologies, guys. There is a two methodologies. So one is nothing but a waterfall methodology. So the DevOps, what are the culture we are using nowadays? So the methodology is nothing but a agile methodologies, guys. What is that? Agile methodology and DevOps and waterfall methodology. I will tell you guys. No worries. In the brief, I will tell you in this demo session. So what we will cover in this course, guys? Yeah, what we will cover is something like we will cover about the modules like what are the DevOps overview, version control using Git and GitHub and Bitbucket, and GitLab also we will show it to you, and continuous integration using Jenkins tools. Yeah, so containerization using Docker installations, guys, and Kubernetes installation, and what is Kubernetes, how it works, what is microservices. So we'll discuss in this course, guys. And the Ansible, so we can discuss it, and we will show you to the what is the difference between Ansible and Puppet and Chef. Why Ansible is Puppet? Why Ansible is popular than Chef and Puppet? So and the something like a continuous monitoring tool using Nagios or Jabix or whatever it may be. So we'll show it to you guys in this course. So and so in this course, what we will discuss is so we will discuss. Yeah, guys are able to see my screen, right? Yeah, guys, what we will discuss in this course, we will discuss about the Linux. We'll discuss about the Linux operating system. So Linux operating system, and we will discuss about the cloud, something like that. I will show it on the AWS and the DevOps tools. What are those? DevOps tools. So DevOps tools. What are those tools? Something like, for example, Terraform, Ansible, Docker, Kubernetes, and Git. So Jenkins. Jenkins. So what the tools will be discussed in this. So first we will deep dive onto the Linux operating system. It's not a deep dive, guys. You will be so what are the enough concept we need to learn the AWS. So we will tell you the AWS. We will before we will tell you the Linux operating system. So sound and so before that we will include the on-premise environment also, guys. So the environments, non-production, production, DC environments. We will discuss briefly about that OS environments and DC data center operations. So then we will include in the Linux operating system, then cloud AWS. So in the AWS, there we are discussing about the services EC2, S3 bucket, IAM, RDS, PPC, so ECS, CKS. We will discuss in this and we will discuss the DevOps tools also. Something like when we launch the AWS EC2 instance, so manually how we can launch it through the Terraform code, how we can do it. So what are the operation configuration management tool, Answer, Docker, So we will include when we start the AWS, guys. First we will start. Yeah, first we will start something like a Linux operating system. Then we will start the cloud AWS. Then we will include the other tools, guys, DevOps tools. So this is our motto. This is the course. So what we are going to discuss the later. So this is the course content details, guys. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So guys, a waterfall model or agile methodology. So what is this of waterfall model? What is this agile methodology? Agile methodology. Guys, does anyone knows about the SDLC? SDLC.
Software, it's software development life cycle.
Very good. Software development life cycle. So, so in this software development life cycle, something like I got an idea, like something like I want to. So I got an idea to create a application for the messaging purpose. So messaging purpose. Then I want to analyze. I want to design. I want to something like right. The same like as a waterfall model. What are that? First we need to analyze, then plan, design. Analyze, plan, design,
Playing CBS News.
build, test, deploy. So these are the stages, guys. Guys, mute yourself. So guys, so you have a thought to create an application for the messaging purpose. You have a thought to create a application. So application in the sense a website or web application, API, whatever it may be called as. So you have a thought to for creating a application for the messaging purpose. Something like a creation application. So for example, so I got the thought. So what are that? So first analysis or analyze, plan, design, build, test, deploy. So something like first we need to get the analyze. We need to get the requirements. What are the requirements we need to? Something like the try, right? The mobile SIM companies, Vodafone or something like a Geo, whatever the SIM companies. So they are charging before they are charging, right? They are charging for the a message for one message, something like a 1 rupee, 2 rupee. So I got a thought. So to create an application, and we will send a messages over the internet through a free of cost. So I got this thought. First, I want to analyze what are the try companies, what are the SIM companies are taking the money for one SMS and that time. So we will not know the if it is sending or not. If is if the message is the recipient is received or not. So we will not know that time. So these are the few drawbacks are there and few analysis. So then plan. So we can plan how we can plan it. Something like we need to how we can plan. So then we can design something like a plan is nothing but a what are the free resources available to build the application. So what are the free resources? Something like so Linux is the open source. It's a free of cost. Free of cost. And what are the web server we need to take? Something like a Tomcat or Apache is the free of cost. We can take the Tomcat. So what are the languages? Is for the what are the languages are free in the open source in the market? Something like a Java. I'm taking the Java database. Something like a MySQL database. I gather the plan, something like how we can build this application through the open sources. First, we will get the what are the free resources, free open source tools are there. We can take the tools and we can design something like what I thought initially. So my thought is something like a WhatsApp. What is that? My thought is WhatsApp. So I'm creating a one application that is a WhatsApp application. This application is for for the messaging purpose. So the design part is something like the architect's design path is design the application. What are the applications? So we have a two in the application we have two buttons. So two modules. So one is chat. Initially, it was one is chat. The other one is contacts. So there is a only two options, two modules are there, two buttons are there. One is the chat and one is the contacts module. So design part something like so that the architect team designed the application. Then it moved to the build team. So build team, it involves the developers. So developers involved. Guys. So these are the developers involved and write the programs, write the code. So write the code for two people are taking the one module for the chat and two people are taking the another module for the contact. These are took the two modules and they create it and they build it. They create it and they build it. So they create that, they develop the code. So in the programmers, developers are. So in this phase, the developers will be comes into the picture. So then testing. So after building the after developing the application, so they test it on the environments like development environment or QA environment, development environment. So in the development environment, they deployed and it's working fine. Then they deployed in the QA environment. Then QA people test. Who will test this application? Who will test the application? Testing a team or QA team or CERT team or CERT team. So something like so they name it, call it as something like some organization call it as a testing team. Some organizations are call it as QA team. Some organizations are call it as a CERT team. So the QA team, CERT team, so these all are say either CERT team or something like a QA team or something like a CERT or a testing team. They test the application once deployed in the development or QA environment. So the testing team will deploy testing team when validate the application. So if it is working fine or not before moving to production. Before moving to production, they will test it. So if the chat is working or not, this application, this module is working or not, or this module is working or not. So something like Vijaya knows very well about this QA, right, Vijaya?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, the people are validating the changes if the changes are looks good or not. So once so once they passed in the QA, so it will deploy it in the production application. So it will deploy in the production. So it will deploy in the production. Who will deploy? So the operations team. What is the team? Operations team. Here operations team or DevOps team. So DevOps team, they deploy the applications. So so if the code is where we need to deploy our application, we will deploy our application in the server. So server, definitely we need a OS, then we need a web server, then we deploy our code, whatever the code they did. So once they deployed, it will. So yeah, so this is the web server. in the web server. So in the web server, so they deploy the code. They deploy it on the web server. WhatsApp.jar or WAR files. So they are deploying the whatever the developer developed that code, they're deploying on the web server. So this is the one of the Linux server. What is this? A Linux server. So we installed it. A web server is something like a Tomcat, right? What is the web server? Tomcat. So we deployed it on the WhatsApp. So now an end user is something like a Victor, Alpesh, or Pa, or Immanuel, whoever. So we can see it in the end user. The end user is browsing in the web browser. Web browser. So it's a Google Chrome or whatever it may, mobile phone, something like he said he browsed it as a something like www https colon double slash a web something like a www.whatsapp.com, for example, guys. So whatsapp.com. Once the end user hit this URL, so www.website.whatsapp, so it searches in over the internet. It searches over the internet. It searches over the internet where our application deployed. So where the WhatsApp application deployed. So it searches. So it found it in the one of the server. The WhatsApp is the code is deployed on this server. So then it will get the response. It will get the response something like the home page of the WhatsApp. For example, if it is a Facebook, so it will show the home page of the Facebook. So what is that? So login, username and password, or something like a login or sign up. So this is the home page of the Facebook. So how it will get it? It will get it through over the HTTPS protocol. What is that? HTTPS protocol. HTTPS is nothing but a hypertext transfer protocol. So what is the port number? Something like a 443. So this protocol getting the pages from web server to web browser. The same way, once we provide the information, then you log in, then you will connect into the web server. If the username password looks good, if the username password matches, then it will open the profile. Then it will open the profile, right? So here, so in these stages, something like a developer develop that code, right? So where he wants to store that code, he wants to store that code in the repository. The repository is called as a Git repository. The repository is called as a Git repository. So what we will learn in this, we will learn in the Git repository, Git version control, or a source code management, source code management tool, or a version control system. A version control system. So we will learn Git. We will learn Git. Something like for the deployment, for the design, or for the build, for the deployment purpose, we are using the Terraform. Terraform is a IAC tool. So it is a infra as a code. So we can build the infra through code also. So Ansible, how we can deploy? How we can deploy? We can deploy it on the through the Ansible. So before we can deploy our application in the servers, then it will be virtualization, then it will be like containerization. So containerization is nothing but a Docker. So the future of the enhancement is nothing but a Kubernetes. So nowadays every application will deploy like as a microservices. Something like a chat is one microservices and contact is one microservices. If something before that we deploy it in only one server, right? So if something goes wrong on the chat, so this entire application will having the issue. So if something contacts goes something, if some contact having an issue, the entire application will not working. Or something like if you're having an infra also, if you're having an infra issue, So the application will not, the site cannot be reached. So nowadays, what we are doing is, so we are using the containerization and we can deploy as a microservice. Chat is one microservice and the contact is one microservice. If any issue with something like we have a issue with the code in the chat, so there is no issue with the contacts. Contacts is working fine. So that's the reason the microservices will comes into the picture. So in one server, we can deploy number of containers. So number of containers means we can deploy something like a so this is a chat and contacts and so we can deploy DB also, database also in the one container as a container, so as a microservices. It will be easy to manage. It will be easy to manage something like the redundancy, failure, everything will be automatically. If one container goes down, it automatically create another container. That is the Kubernetes. Kubernetes is Kubernetes orchestration engine. So it will manages the containers. It will manages the container. Something like whenever we deploy our application, we can deploy it on the before we can deploy it on the physical server. If uh, if hardware goes fail, if something like if hardware having an issue, hardware crashes, so then the site cannot be reached because of, so we need to restore the other server with a time, right? So we need something like 30 or 40 minutes or the one day, half day. So the loss, the revenue, something like the application will loss. So that's the reason.
Oh, I think you're. Hello, I think you're so fast. I think you have to reduce your speed. So what can we
You are
follow? Thank you.
okay, okay, yeah. So the Linux, I will tell you. So the SDLC, now you got it the right guys, SDLC. So so how we can deploy our application before we can apply our application in the a waterfall model. So what is waterfall model? And nowadays our application deployed in the Agile methodology. Agile, sorry guys, Agile methodology, Agile model. So what is the difference between our Agile methodology and waterfall model is? So waterfall model is something like so if you want to deploy a application, something like if you want to deploy a WhatsApp application, so it will take 6 months to to go live, something like to go live. So what are the phases are there? Something like analysis, then it will plan, then it will design, then it will build, then it will test, then it will deploy. So this is the phases. Something like if deploy, so if something like this in this stage, that in the deploying stage it fails, so again it will take 6 months to redeploy the application. So the waterfall model, everything will be manual. In the waterfall model, everything will be manual. Something like a manually a developer develop that code and push it to the repository. They manually build that code. So this is the code, right? So something like this code is a Java or C++, whatever the code. I want to, I want to build this code. I want to build this code. The code will be Tomcat knows only jar or val file. Something like it will convert from .java to .jar or .var. So we can use a build tool called as a Maven. So we can install manually and we can convert this from jar to Java to jar manually. There is no automation here in the waterfall model. So who will deploy this application? So if it is agile methodology, if it is a DevOps method, a DevOps culture, so DevOps methodology, it will automate the process. But before that, in the waterfall model, everything will through manually. So the so what we will do, the developer develop the code and we can we can build this .java to .var. So developer will do this convert the dot jar or dot var, then we'll give it to the operations team. Who is the operations team? For example, a Linux engineer. So Linux engineer. So why Linux engineer or something like a Windows engineer? So Windows engineer, a Linux engineer, something like if we are trying to deploy your application in the Windows machine, we need a Windows engineer. So we need a Windows engineer. So if you want to deploy your application in the Linux OS, so we need a Linux engineer. So why Linux engineer deploy the code into the Linux machines? Because of a developer doesn't know the how to operate the Linux machines. A developer doesn't know the how to operate the Linux machines, right? So a developer knows only the languages. He developed the programs for the application. So who is the responsible for managing the Linux servers? A Linux engineer will manage the Linux servers, right? So a engineer is having the production access. So then a Linux engineer, whatever the build code, something like whatever the dot jar dot var code is there. So engineer took that code and deployed it on the web server, deployed on the Linux server. So something like if something goes wrong, so Linux engineer says this is a fault with code. A developer says like it is a fault with something like infra. So we need a stability, and we need a stability to deploy our application, right? Something like in operation engineer push it to the development team. So development team push it to the say it's a fault with the operations infra. So we need a stability. We need a stability that so the DevOps comes into the picture. The methodology, so DevOps comes into the picture. So they both combine together in the Agile methodology. They both combine together and so use the tools and automate the process. So yeah, whatever the developer develop that code automatically, once we push it to the Git, it automatically, so we will include the CI/CD here. So before integration, deployment, integration. So integration is nothing but a building. So whatever that these four developers develop that code, so combined means integrate and create a jar or wall file. So this is a manual intervention and the deployment. So deployment, who will deploy? The operation engineers. So engineers will deploy the application in the Linux servers. So this is also a manual thing. So the deployment and the integration. So after agile methodology, the name call it as a CI/CD. CI/CD is nothing but a continuous deployment and continuous integration. Continuous integration. So what is this continuous integration and continuous deployment? So before there is no continuous. Before there is no continuous, only integration and only deployment. So it will be a manual intervention. It will be a manual intervention. So once agile methodology comes into the picture, so there will be a tools integrated and will deploy the applications automatically with the speed. Something like so if you use the Git, so once we deploy push it to the code, it automatically took this CI/CD. CI/CD is nothing but a Jenkins. Yeah, I will tell you. Yeah, agile methodology. So something like in the agile methodology, they took that chart modules in the iterations, guys. So analyze, plans, design, build, test. So this will be a iteration mode. This will be a iteration mode. And take the modules, take the modules. Something like a limitations of waterfall model. Something like what the first limitation is high amount of risk and uncertainty. High amount of risk and uncertainty. The second one is no working software is produced until a late during the life cycle. So late, no working software is produced until the late during the life cycle. So once the application is in the testing stage, it is very difficult to go back and change the something that was not well throughout in the concept stage. So and not a good model for the complex and object oriented process. So not suitable for the projects where the requirements are at the moderate to high risk of changing. Moderate to high risk of changing. So then Agile methodology comes into the picture, guys. So what is Agile methodology? So in the Agile methodology, each project is broken up into several iterations. So these are the first iteration, second iteration, third iteration. All the iterations should be of the same time duration. All the iterations should be a same time of the duration. 2 to 8 weeks. At the end of the each iteration, a working product should be delivered. A working product should be delivered. So in this, so once an application is in the testing stage, it is very too difficult to go back and change something that was not well throughout in the concept stage. It is not suitable for the projects where the requirements are at the moderate to high risk of the changing. So and so no working software is produced until late during the life cycle, until the late cycle. So here, so we need to so here, so a working copy will be produced. So something like a spot pan of 2 to 8 weeks, something like a sprint. It's a sprint based model. Agile methodology is a sprint based. So at the end of the each iteration, a working product should be delivered. The working product should be delivered, guys. So, so limitations of Agile methodology, something like a code working fine in my laptop. So what developer says, code working fine in my laptop. So operations team say that there is some problem with the code, it does not work in the production. But developer says code works fine in my laptop. So wants a change, wants a stability. So wants a change and wants a stability. So a DevOps comes into the picture. A solution is a DevOps. Wants a change, wants a stability. So what is the solution, guys? Solution is a DevOps. So DevOps is a methodology or a culture. DevOps is not a tool. A development team and operations team work together and automate the process by using the tools. You can automate the process by using the tools. The development team and the operations team work together and automate the process. Automate the process. So what is DevOps? The most important topic in the DevOps is CI/CD. CI/CD is nothing but a continuous integration and continuous deployment. So how we can integrate continuously, how we can deploy our application continuously. So so there are number of CI/CD tools are there. So for example, one of the tools is Jenkins, Bamboo, Hudson, Git Actions, GitLab CI/CD. So many CI/CD to Argo CD. So we have a number of CI/CD tools are there. So Jenkins is the open source tool and the popular tool. So Jenkins CI/CD, so CI/CD it will automatically. So we can define the process with the tools. So we can define the process with the tools. So something like so in the integration, plan, code, build, test. So in the plan purpose, they are using the plan, Git, Jira, and Subversion code. So developer develop that code and push it to the Git. So once you got the Git, once you got the code, so CI/CD, the Jenkins took that code and build that code and dep- and deploy it on the testing environment. They will deploy it on the testing environment, something like. So the version control is nothing but a source management code that maintains the different versions of the code. So something like a WhatsApp 1.0, WhatsApp 2.0, something like they introduced as a status. So these are the version control system. So once we deploy the code, so then it will Jenkins took that continuous integration, compile, validate, code review, unit testing, integration testing, everything will do it. So continuous delivery is nothing but deploying the build application to the test and performing UAT servers. So continuous testing. So configuration management and containerization is nothing but a continuous deployment. Continuous deployment is nothing but a so deploying the tested application on the prod server for the release. So this is the product in the production. This is the live environment. This is something like a WhatsApp.com is deployed in the production environment. So in this, a source code management is there, right? This is the version control system or source code management. So what is the source code management tool? So source code management changes the documents or computer programs or large website and other collection of information will be stored it in the source code management. So we have a CVS, centralized version control system, and DVS, distributed version control system. So DVS is nothing but a Git. So nowadays popular Git is the popular. So centralized version control system is SVN. So I will tell you the what is the drawback of SVN. So why Git is popular then SVN. Yeah. So in the Jenkins is the CI/CD server. So in the CI part, this is the continuous integration part. In this continuous integration part, so Jenkins, whatever the developer developed that code in the repository, so it will automatically took the code and build the code. Build the code means compile the code review, excuse me, unit testing and integration testing package. So where are jar. So that CI part will take care of the integration Jenkins CI part. So after where or build, so we need to deploy the application, right? After where or jar build, we need to deploy our application to the server. So who will take care of that one? The Jenkins take care of the CD. So continuous delivery. So once we took the code from the developer, took the code and build the code, and Jenkins automatically deploy our application into the servers or Dockers or Kubernetes. So this is nothing but a CI/CD. So DevOps. So in this CI/CD, so we can use the tools. What are the tools we can use? Git we can use, Maven we can use, JUnit, so Ant, Subversion. These all are in the integration. So these all are in the deployment. Deployment purpose we are using Docker, Kubernetes, or something like a Puppet, Chef, Ansible we can use for deploying. For monitoring purpose we are using Nagios, Splunk, Slack, also ELK. We are using a Kafka or something like we are using the Datadog or something like we are using the Grafana, Prometheus. We are using the for artifact purpose we are using the JFrog or Nexus. So we can use the tools to automate the process. So how we can deploy our application? We can deploy our application through CI/CD. So Jenkins provides the CI/CD solution. Not only a Jenkins, a Bamboo, Hudson, GitLab CI/CD, Git Actions, and Argo CD. So we have the number of solutions to automate the process. To, aut- the, to automate the process. There is no manual intervention, so we can do it through automatically. We can do it through automatically. So something like Ansible. Also, we will discuss about the Ansible also, configuration management. So I want to configure Java application on 100 servers. How we can do it? So manually, what we can do it? Each and every, so we can log into the each and every server and we can install the Java Tomcat. But for the automation Ansible, we can use the automation and we can run one playbook on the Ansible server. It automatically deploy 100 servers, 1000 servers, or something like a 10,000 server, whatever it may be. So it will automatically install through the configuration management tool. So Ansible. So Ansible is a configuration management tool, deploy and orchestration tools. So it is a push-based configuration management tool. It automates your entire IT infrastructure by providing the large productivity gains. Right. So containerization. So we can use the containerization. We can deploy our application through as a container, as a microservices, as a Kubernetes. So continuous monitoring, something like a Nagios, how we can monitor our servers. If something goes down, if RAM goes down or server goes down, how we can get it? We can get alert in the monitoring tool. So we have a huge application. We have a thousands of servers are there. So something like only five engineers are there to monitor the application, to monitor the servers. So it is a difficult to log in each and every server, and need to check if the server is running or not, right? So we create a Nagios monitoring tool, and we can add that servers into this tool. So this will manage everything. If server down or something like that, the application goes down or something like the service is not running, so the Nagios will send the alert to the peoples who are managing the servers. So Linux foundation. So Linux fundamentals and the scripting bits. So we can discuss. So the starting we can discuss the Linux. So if you know the Linux is a CLI, guys. Command line interface. If you know the commands or if you know the Linux, how it will works. Most of the DevOps tools are using the. Sorry, guys. Most of the DevOps tools are using the Linux commands, Linux based commands. So something like who developed Git developed, who developed Linux, Git also developed by the who developed the Linux, Git also developed that guy only, the Linus Torvald. So whatever the commands we are using in the Linux, the mostly all the tools will use the commands only. How you can operate that tool? We can operate that tool through commands only. So that's the reason. So if you know the Linux, so something like AWS also, the cloud providers also. So how they create their API is so based on that Linux. So it is a open source, right? So we took that Linux, then they build the services slowly, EC2 instance, then S3, then so they created. So something like they think and they're remembering the Linux OS, then created the application, AWS application API. If you know the Linux, guys, so it is easily to understand the cloud environment. It is easily to understand the DevOps tools. It is easily to deploy our application or whatever the tools. If you want to use it, if you know the Linux, definitely it will be easy to understand everything, guys. Okay. And we will discuss about the cloud also. AWS. What is AWS? So AWS is a cloud provider. They provide the servers and services that you can use, demand and scale easily. AWS has a revolutionized IT over the time. AWS powers some of the biggest website in the world. So what are those? Amazon.com is deployed in the AWS cloud. Netflix also. So some of the use cases, most of the services are is deploying it in the Amazon cloud only. Amazon cloud only. So what we will learn in this course, something like we will learn the services, EC2, ECR, ECS, Lambda, auto scaling, IAM, EMS, S3. So these are the services going forward. You will understood, guys. The history of the cloud, something like in 2002 internally launched. 2003 Amazon infrastructure is one of the core strength idea to market. So in 2004, they launched publicly with SQS. In 2006, they relaunched publicly with SQS, S3, EC2. And 2007, in 2006, they launched in the US region. In 2007, they launched in the Europe region. So what are the use cases? What are the companies are using the Amazon? A Dropbox is using Airbnb, NASA, Netflix. They are using the AWS services. So something like AWS cloud number fact in 2019, AWS had 35 billion in annual revenue. So AWS accounts for 47% of the market in 2019. Microsoft is second, 22%. Pioneer and leader of the AWS cloud market for the ninth consecutive year. So over So over at 10 lakhs active users. So something like what are the leaders? The leaders in the Amazon Web Services, Microsoft and Google. So the challengers are Alibaba Cloud, Oracle Cloud, IBM Cloud. So how many clouds are there, right, guys? Cloud providers. These all are the cloud providers. Who provide the cloud? AWS provides, Microsoft Azure, Google GCP, Alibaba Cloud, Oracle Cloud, IBM Cloud. Right, guys? IBM Cloud. So AWS Cloud number fact is done. So AWS Cloud use cases. So AWS enables you to build sophisticated, scalable applications applicable to a diverse set of industries. Use cases include enterprise IT, backup, storage, big data analytics, website hosting, mobile, social games, social apps, gaming services. So everywhere we can use the AWS Cloud. So McDonald's, 21st Century, Fox, Activision, Netflix, they are using the AWS Cloud use cases. So AWS will be in the region scope or something like, so that they will provide the availability zones and regions. So regions and availability zones. So yeah, so we will cover these many tools in this course, guys. So first we will tell you the Linux basics of what is OS. So we will cover it in the environments also. In the environments, we will so in the Linux part we will cover half of the part, something like how we can deploy our application. So how we can install web applications, how we can deploy our applications. So what are the manual things in the what is the future of a cloud and AWS. So most probably we will learn. So we will teach something like 15 days for the Linux. We will tell you the environments or deployments, everything in the Linux. Then we will move to the AWS. So in the AWS, once we start the AWS, so we will include the DevOps tool, something like a so services, right? Whatever the services we start, so the corresponding tool will install and will tell you the automation part. So this is the demo about the course content, guys. You guys having any doubts?
So, can I ask a question?
Yes.
So, can we have what they call a course outline on this? So we're gonna know this exactly what we are going for. Sorry, my name is Emmanuel. I'm reaching you
Yeah,
guys
Emmanuel.
from
Yep,
Dallas.
yep. Sorry?
So I'm saying, so in this class, are you gonna give us what they call it like a course outline? So we're gonna know what we're like actually going for. The specific, this is what we're gonna learn, and so we
Yeah.
can
I will
like
give. Yes. I told you right. So whatever we are starting the class, I will tell you what gonna discuss will on this class. So and we will provide a something like a recorded video, and we will upload it in the Google Drive. So if you can watch it on the Google Drive again, or I will show you the before the class starting what are the content, what are the uh, topic we'll discuss in this class.
okay, thank you.
Yeah, guys, any doubts?
I have a concern. I don't know if it's a question.
Yeah,
Are we
yeah.
going to download some applications so we can practice on it?
Yes, we will show it on the real time also. So yeah, definitely will deploy any one of the application in the real time also. We will show you how to deploy our application.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Guys, any doubts? Vijaya, Alpesh, yeah, Praveen, you can ask. Praveen, right?
Bro, Praveen. So
Yep, tell me.
60 days అంటే మరి తక్కువ టర్మ్ కదా.
It will take something like it will forward, guys. Definitely it will forward to uh, more 5 days or 10 days. So we will cover within 60 days the course 16 days, something like. So if the class will not take weekends, so Saturday, Sunday. So definitely it will cover on 60 days. No worries.
ఓకే. అంటే మరి 60 days అంటే తక్కువ టైం ఏమో అని.
So definitely you will get a good knowledge. So when we reach the 60 days, okay.
Yeah, fine. I hope so. You will cover every topic. Like if
Definitely,
you
definitely.
cover,
No, we will cover everything. We will cover everything.
yeah, but
60
yeah,
days is not
fine.
enough, right? You are asking, saying.
Yeah, it's not definitely. It's
It
not
will
enough.
extend. It will extend. It will extend. Definitely, it will extend 10 days because of. So in the class, everyone asking doubts, right? Definitely, it will be extended 70 to 75 days.
Timings 1 hour.
Yeah.
1
So if you guys are
hour
okay with,
అయినా కూడా 60 days next అంటే నాకు తెలిసి అన్ని cover చేయడానికి ఇష్టపడదు.
yeah. So
Okay,
Praveen,
so
your
time
voice
1
is
hour
bit.
అంటే కష్టమా లేకుంటే you will extend?
Yeah, it will extend. It will definitely, it will extend 1 hour, 1:15, whatever the topic. Something like I started the topic, so something like I will not leave in middle of the topic. So I will end the topic. Maybe a 1.5 hour. It will take 2 hours also sometimes. Okay. So I'm a real time employee also.
So only
So sometimes,
సాయంత్రం
yeah. So based on your availability, something like some people, US people are asking about. So if possible, we can take the class in the morning 6 to 7 a.m. So if it is possible, you guys, if it is possible, so we will continue, and the other 3 or 4 people also join this group. If you are okay with Praveen, Vijaya, who are from India. So you guys are okay with 6 to 7? Are having any concerns? Vijaya, you there? Praveen, Vijaya, and some other
Yes,
eBay.
yes. Yeah, I'll
Vijaya,
let you know. Yeah, I'll let you know about the timings. So before that, may I know what are the topics you're going to cover? Like, may I have the list about the topics you're going
yeah,
to
yep,
cover?
yep. So I already discussed in the details, right? What are the topics you are covering? If you want the content of
Well,
the content details, definitely I will
yeah,
forward the content details also.
yeah, please. So because initially I missed the class, so can you please forward
Okay,
then?
yeah. So we have a
Yeah,
PPT. So we have a PPT. Definitely I will forward to you, Vijaya.
yeah, sure. Yeah, thank you.
Yep. So Praveen, from your side, that the other guy eBay and you are joined, right?
yeah.
Yeah. So you guys are okay with
So actually
morning
he
6?
wants it to have a morning timing around like not if
Oh,
not possible around 6 or 7. Maybe if it
mm.
you at whatever convenience you time you can take it, like 7 or 8 or
Actually, I'm a employee. I'm a real-time employee, Praveen.
so you're working in US or India?
I'm working in India only, but I'm working to US
US
company.
timings.
Yeah, not US timings, India timings.
US timings.
India timings only.
Okay, fine. I'll discuss with my friend. Then
Yep.
actually his concern is to have morning.
Hmm. Okay, we will discuss offline,
So
Praveen. I
fine,
will
as
I
you're
will call
con
you. Yeah.
sure,
I will call
sure,
you.
sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So the
Thank you.
onshore guys. So you are okay with that? This timings are something like our morning 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. IST, guys.
So this is Emmanuel. For me,
Hmm.